Was it a mistake in so many states and so many localities to see schools closed as long as they were?
Well, I don't want to use the word mistake.
Well, but did we pay too high a price?
There will be deleterious collateral consequences, collateral consequences, collateral consequences. If you go back, and I ask anybody to go back over the number of times that I've said we've got to do everything we can to keep the schools open, no one plays that clip. They always come back and say Fauci was responsible for closing schools. I had nothing to do. The schools should be closed. I had nothing to do. The schools should be closed. I had nothing to do. The schools should be closed. With COVID, I mean, the things that we thought we knew in the beginning turned out as the months went by to not be the case, which really forced us to adapt and to change some of our policies and recommendations. That was interpreted by many as flip-flopping or not really knowing what's going on, when it really was the evolution of the science.
Fuck you, Dr. Fauci.
The best vaccination is to get infected yourself. If she really has the flu, she definitely doesn't need a flu vaccine. If she really has the flu,
she should not get it again.
No, she doesn't need it because it's the most potent vaccination is getting infected yourself.
Fuck you, Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Fauci, knowing that it is a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, I have never lied. I have never lied. I have never lied.
Fuck you, Dr. Fauci.
I represent.
And not just to think about, well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom.
There comes a time when you do have to give up what you consider your individual right of making your own decision.
I also want to ask you about the president's mandate. There's so much opposition now.
I understand, and we all understand, how people do not like to be told what to do. They want to make their own choice and their own free will.
Is there any thought of backing off of that?
People do not like to be told what to do, told what to do, told what to do. They want to make their own choice and their own free will, their own choice, their own choice.
Backing off.
Free will, their own free will. I get that and I respect that. Free will, I respect that. But these are unusual times. Their own free will, unusual times. I respect that. So I would prefer, and we all would prefer, that people would be voluntarily getting vaccinated, told what to do. But if they're not going to do that, sometimes you've got to do things that are unpopular, but that clearly supersede individual choices.
Well. We were right. It's hit the fan. So let's dive in and talk about it. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Did a montage of some of Mr. T's greatest hits, showing these frickin' Fauchsters exactly what they've been doing. Lie after stinking lie. So bad that even little cutesy news girls say, fuck you, Dr. Fauci. Well, here we are, folks. We got Ooman behind the scenes. Jolene is taking a whirlwind tour of Northern California, and you've got me at the hallowed, sacred, Prepared Mind satire desk. Thank you, Ooman, for sitting in and wearing all those hats and stomping ass behind the scenes on liberals left and right. And welcome to you for being here on the preparedmind.club and on subscribestar.com. Do that. $2 a month. And guess what? $2 a month. You can join us. Oh, would you look at that? A little scrolling thing on there. $2 a month, and you can, folks, join us live every day. Just joining in, having some fun, right? Giving the man the business. In other words, talking about what a bunch of hypocritical jackasses these people are. So I'm going to start off once again. New York University, a cardiologist from there diagnosed MSNBC's very own news anchor with myocarditis that was caused by the common cold. Folks, we've been living I've been on this planet 53 years, and before 2020, people just didn't get myocarditis from the common cold. I wonder what's going on. Would someone please help me out? Because doctors are baffled about what is happening and why it's happening. Folks, are you baffled? Are you baffled? Can you handle it? Listen, I'm not baffled. Not in the freaking least. I'm not baffled. Are you baffled? It's funny how doctors can't figure it out. They just can't seem to figure it out. What was the 8 years of higher learning in colleges for, doctors? Was it how to shake down Pfizer for cash donations? Was it how to stick your hand out and say, hey, Moderna, hey, AstraZeneca, got any goodies for me? Rare. Is that what they go to school? Is that what medical school is all about? Because they seem to be baffled about anything medical. Unconscionable. I am just stunned at the continuing fucking ignorance of these doctors. No wonder they turn to big pharma and say, can you help us out here? We seem to be having some trouble figuring out why people are keeling over left and right. I know you don't doubt me anymore. I know you do not doubt me anymore. So let's do it. Let's kick this one off. Let's have some fun with the Pfizer Files. That's right, another sports edition. Folks, a 20-year-old super athlete. The man's name is Ryan Keeler. He plays football for UNLV. That's the United Nations of Las Vegas. UNLV, right? Football player dies. How did he die? Everyone, 1, 2, 3. He died suddenly, 20 years old. Is this normal? Is this how it works? Doctors are baffled. Doctors are confused. Doctors have no idea what's going on with young athletes dying suddenly, having heart attacks. It's just, wow. Unbelievable, huh? Just can't seem to grasp what is happening out there. Have you not figured it out? I'm pretty sure you have. I have. I have completely figured out what the hell is going on. All right. Now, what I'll say to you, Mr. Skylight, you're emailing me in the background here, is I got to be very careful about what I talk about, because the Prepared Mind channel hasn't got one, but we've gotten 2, count them, 1, 2 strikes for speaking of an opinion, speaking from the perspective of the opinion that things aren't what we're being told. We're not allowed to have that. No. We can't have that. Doctors can't figure it out. We can, but we're not allowed to say anything. Shh. gotta be quiet. Put in the key, lock the key, zip it shut, and throw it the fuck away, right? No, not if I can help it. I really wish, folks, that we could say whatever the hell we wanted, but we can't. Hey, do me a favor. Get your questions down below. Ooman will star them. Make your questions all caps so that they're no problem to find. Just it's unbelievable. It is. I mean, I know I use words like stunning and unbelievable way too much, but look where we're at. Shit has hit the fan. And I had someone actually tell me, go, you know what? They're doing, and this is a guy, this is a guy I know during the day. I don't talk any prepping. I don't talk any conspiracy. I don't talk any politics. I just kind of chill back, right? And put some work together because it's my job to, well, protect things. My job isn't, in this particular sense, to be at a place where I divulge my personal political opinion. I'm not being paid for that. So I just be quiet. I just chill out. And this guy goes, you know what? I think they're trying to distract us. They're trying to distract us by distracting us with more distractions. And he was of particular, persuasion. He was believed that all of the UFO stuff was to keep us distracted. He was interested in that. Interesting. Okay, now, folks, there's a study out there. There's a study that finds egg yolk blocks cerveza bug in the body. I know we've hinted at this a little bit. Well, and don't forget that at the same time, chicken farms and egg farms are burning down to the ground. Right? Several fires in January alone. So isn't it interesting that it's been released? Right? It's been released. I mean, I can go through all of the 1.1 million chickens here, 50,000 chickens there. That's a lot of freaking eggs when you get to the end of it. I can't read these studies, except I can tell you that the National Library of Medicine found that compounds within egg yolks were effective in blocking cerveza bug in your body. Did you know that? Now, me personally, I like eggs. I like taking a big blast of vitamins. On the weekend, I'll eat me a big old omelet. Sit back, right? A couple weeks ago, I had some chorizo omelets, and oh man, talk about good. At the same time, I was killing cerveza bug without the benefit of the Jim Jones juice or juice boosters in my body. Thank you, real science. Thank you, nature. Thank you, immune system. What are you doing, right? What's in your refrigerator? Who do you believe? Really, who do you believe? You know what's very fascinating? There's this thing that's been happening. Project Veritas, which has had groundbreaking, incredible news stories for the last few years, exposing the left, exposing big social media, exposing regular media, exposing doctors, exposing big pharmaceutical, exposing everybody, letting them expose themselves. And I don't mean in the I'm naked under my trench coat kind of way. And the board says, oh no, we gotta reel you in, man. We got to get rid of you. You are a problem to work with. Nobody likes working with you, right, Mr. James O'Keefe? Well, guess what? The staffers at Project Veritas have told the board, either you quit or we walk. In other words, folks, it sounds to me like somebody got to the board. Like the board there got woke. And so it's taking the staffers telling the board, you quit or we walk. And the board, folks, the board of directors of Project Veritas, if it's a corporate board, they have a duty to shareholders and owners in the company. They have a duty to do what's best for the company, not what's best for wokeness. So we're going to find out if they're willing to either obey their masters and continue to woke out Project Veritas, or whether they're going to, walk out of their jobs. Somehow, folks, the board has been gotten to. So could it be while, I don't know, let's just guess, while James O'Keefe is out there getting pharmaceutical companies, social media companies to expose their lies, their hypocrisy, their bullshit, and their anti-Americanism, could it be that those anti-American forces within, shall we say, secret law enforcement organizations have been getting the board, well, behind the scenes, possibly offering them, let's just say, illegal good times, and they were captured. We got you. You smoked that crack pipe, right? You bedded down a hooker, or both, and worse, and now they're owned. Well, crazy times, folks. Crazy times. Do me a favor, if you will. Get your questions in the comments section. And we're going to go over stuff. Unbelievable. Okay. I tell you, there's a lot of stuff in there happening behind the scenes. We got to be careful what we talk about, right? Let's see. You got everybody. Everybody's in here working it. Get those questions in. Man's going to try setting them aside for me. Okay, folks. Okay, where are we going to go next? Where do we want to go? What topic do we want to just hammer home on these fucking losers in charge? How about this? The mainstream media, folks. These people are utterly un-American. They are praising Potato Joe, Gigi Biden's historic. They're calling his trip to Ukraine historic, while people in Ohio are suffering. These people are beyond idiotic, folks. They are beyond being neophyte, acolyte, moronic followers wearing blindfolds as they navigate the pitfalls of left-wing politics and pretend like there's not a cliff of insanity to one side and a cliff of suicidal stupidity on the other. I guess their, shall we say, faith. Their faith is what's keeping them from falling. Unbelievable. It's historic for Biden to be over in Ukraine. I mean, get this today, folks. In Ohio. Oh, fucking computer, I tell you. There we go. The mayor of the Ohio town known as East Palestine went on TV, went in the media, and basically just berated Biden for giving millions and, folks, billions of dollars to Ukraine. The mayor says he doesn't care about us. What does this tell you, folks? Not only does he not care about East Palestine, not only does Biden not give a shit about his own country, where disasters are, or anything. Biden doesn't care about the Democrat Party. Biden doesn't care about being reelected. The election is less than 2 years away. Presidential election politics start in 1 year, if not already behind the scenes. You know, we've got Nikki Haley on the Republican side thinking she's going to blast into Republican politics. Folks, I could make a bigger splash in Republican politics by making a loud public announcement. YouTube Ding Dong says he's going to run against Trump. John the Prepared Mind. You know, I could get more than what she got for people watching live. I mean, it's fucking incredible. Anyway, when the mayor of East Palestine, Ohio said, Joe Biden, he doesn't care about us. He's not lying. Did Joe Biden go to East Palestine? No. Trump did. Trump is. Trump will. Trump was. Trump has. In fact, by merely saying he was going there, finally got the FEMA organization, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, finally said, oh, I guess we'll do something about this problem there. But only because, that's right, only because Trump was going there. This is, I mean, folks, where do you start? How do you figure this out? Right? This is our president of the United States of America. Quote, all the allies would be united or divided. That is President Biden. All the allies would be united or divided? Does that sound like babbling idiot or articulate statesman? Well, folks, I'm going to lead more towards babbling idiot. And that is the president of the United States speaking to the world right now. Speaking to the world. Okay. Hey, Uman, have we got some questions all set up for the second half of the show? He's giving me the nod. Very nice. All right. Folks, the idiot Biden over there visiting Europe, right? Visiting Ukraine, hanging out with Slobodan Zelensky, right? Voldemort Zelensky. He went and visited the Poles today, the Polish. And he told the Polish president he wanted to be called Bidensky because he grew up surrounded by Polish immigrants. I thought Biden grew up in black neighborhoods, and he and Corn Pop hung out, and he went to the Black University before he became a train conducting, truck driving, airplane flying, freedom rights activist marcher in the 1960s. I mean, this guy's done it all. I thought I have had a full life. Joe Biden is a complete fucking idiot. He wants to be called Bidensky. Bidensky? Bidensky. What a moron. And he thinks that people are just going to buy his shit. Right? Just, folks, it's unbelievable. Now, I've got a little more to talk to you about. Thank you, Mr. Oliver. We got some great questions coming up. He just sent me a nice message. The evil is rampant. Are you prepared? Are you prepared, folks? Let me give you a little scenario. I love scenarios. You hear over the radio in the morning. You hear on TV. You get a news blip on your phone that there's been an attack on the West Coast. And it's a cyber attack. And the power is out across the entire West Coast, everywhere west of the Rockies. And so the East Coast is now on alert. The police are on alert. And we're having intermittent blackouts along the eastern seaboard. The police are calling for voluntary curfews. They're like, this isn't a guaranteed curfew, but we're going to need people to just stay home. Everyone stay home all day and all night. And then, folks, at 5 p.m., the lights go out. The lights go out. You've been watching it all day. First the West Coast, and then the eastern seaboard starts warning people, hey, we need to curfew. We need to be careful. This is coming. And they start flickering on the East Coast, and then poof, out. Peace out. No power. The police are already aware there's problems. Everyone's had a little bit of a chance to warm up on the East Coast. The West Coast has had a day long of bullshit. And night is falling. No electricity. Gas stations couldn't pump gas. Stores couldn't sell food. People have been out trying to figure out what to do. Do they try and store up water? Do they go to the store with cash? Do they try write IOUs? Do they try and get in-store credit from people they know? Do they start calling friends? Oh, they can't. Can't call anyone because the cell towers, they're down. Regular phone lines, only 1 in 20 people has a landline, and most of those people are in their 80s. And then it happens, folks. About 9 o'clock, it's pitch black out. And you start hearing the occasional pop. Bam! First there's one over that way. Then there's one over there. Then it's quiet again. And then you listen, and you're out on their porch and you're listening. And in the distance, you're a pop, pop, bang. Pop, 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 pop. Bang, bang. What do you do at that point? The power's been out all day or for the last few hours. You're no sign of the police, no power, no way to communicate. You can't get gas, you can't get food. Your water system, you can't really trust it. And then the shooting starts. It's intermittent, it's here, it's there. What is your next step? Do you go down to the cellar and grab your camis and put them on? Throw your boots on, pull up your bootstrings, tie them off? If you're up north, do you put on your big furry coat, right? Your beanie, your favorite close-knit turtle fur beanie? You load up your AR or your AK, your favorite shotgun, and sit on the porch? Or do you sit in the house? No candles, no solar-powered lights, no batteries, and just sit there and make it through the first night. What do? Just think about it. What would you do after hours and hours and hours of quiet? You hear some cars screeching and racing, horns blaring. Bam, bam. Do you go out and find out where the stupid's at? I don't know. Anyways, just wanted to have a little fun with you with the scenario, folks. Those days can come. It can come. And the next day, the power could come back on and everything is fine. You don't know. Or the power could be out for 36 hours or 48 hours and then miraculously come right back on. But for that time, the time that it's out, things could get a little stupid. We'll come back and visit that game again. Anytime you guys want, bring up the scenario game and I'll play that game with you to get you to think about when do you, right, go from being John Q. Public to John Rambo, at least in the, shall we say, bunkered in sense. Folks, the evil of the left has become more and more apparent, I think, to us all. At the Virginia Elementary School, that's right, the one that hosted the after-school Satan's Club. Isn't that just brilliant? A club that promotes death, murder, and evil for children. We need to allow them. Well, guess what? The same school received a bomb threat. And the bomb threat quote was, "You promote devil worship and un-Islamic values." So the cultists that believe in, shall we say, they believe in evil. They know that Satan's evil. So instead of correcting it, they actually threatened to bomb the place that had evil. So evil joins evil. Evil wants to attack evil by threatening to blow up a place. We're going to have some interesting responses when the lights go out, when government continues to fail at ever-increasing rates to do what they need to do. Fascinating shit, folks. I hope you are prepared. Unbelievable. I hope you guys enjoyed the start to this program. I wanted to play all of that. Government is more than willing to lie. That was just the medical lies. That was just kind of a montage of the good material we have. And there is so much more. So much more. So let's do this. Let us do this. All right, man. I couldn't help it. Had to have a lot of fun in the first half of the show. I hope everyone out there has been sharing on YouTube, the internet address right there. And I want to thank everybody who are clicking down here and subscribing at all 4 of the Prepared Mind channels. Because we got a strike on the Prepared Mind. We got a strike on the Prepared Mind BC. So here we are on John, the Prepared Mind, and we have the Prepared Mind John. Go to those, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that anytime something goes haywire, you know where to show up. And if you subscribe at the preparedmind.club, if you subscribe to our newsletter, all we need is your email. And we'll send you a couple times a week news stories. But anytime something goes funky, we'll tell you where the show is going to be broadcast so that, how do we say this? Anytime there is unmitigated censorship against us in the form of a YouTube strike, you know where to go to get your fix on what the fuck is happening out there. Ooh, man, let's kick it off, man. Who do we want to run up first? None other than Mr. X. And he says, I have worked every hurricane since Rita. People come together when they need to come together and when it counts. Why can't we just come together without the disasters? Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. X, there is a very good spirit of cooperation when there are disasters. When there's disasters. I like that about America. It happens. I like that about the world. It can happen. But we also seem to have this propensity to engage in violence when people feel like they're being screwed. You know, kind of like the George Floyd crowds, the BLM crowds. It doesn't take much to whip up negative sentiment. So if you've ever been around when the power goes out, people tend to get short. They don't like waiting in lines. After several hours and waiting in lines, they get a little testy. How much does it take to go the wrong direction? That's kind of the way I used my my scenario to describe it. Like the West Coast went out. The East Coast knew that. They anticipated it. They witnessed flickering lights. They got scared. They knew it was coming, and then it hits. Right? It's not a hurricane. It's not a snowstorm. They knew it's coming, and they knew that stupid. People know when the power's out, you're not going to get food. When the power's out, you're not going to get gas. So it kind of like set them off. They expected the problems. They expected the problems. They expected the problems. Like, I know people do come together, Mr. X. But there's looting. Like that last hurricane that happened down in Florida, there were looters there. You know, there's looters by BLM. There's looting going on up in northern cities. That stuff still occurs, even though, you know, where you're at, and I'm glad that you got to participate and help people, where they're coming together, where people are coming apart at the seams. That's our worry. It just takes one freaking idiot to cause some gunfire, and then everyone in that neighborhood is now on edge. Maybe someone got shot and knocked down in the street and they're bleeding out. Everyone else is going to be on edge. People are going to hear it. People are going to know it. It's going to be interesting. I'm not saying, you know, that the first thing you need to do is jump into combat mode, but that's your decision to make, not mine. If my power went out, you can bet I would be very much aware and very much, how do I put this? Ready to go on protection mode for myself, my neighbors, etc. That's how I think it'll work if the scenario I just described happened. But there's lots of different scenarios, folks. Right? Lights can be on, everything can be fine, but there's people for one reason or another, who have decided to band together, and hundreds of them march down the street telling everyone how angry they are because of someone else's race, someone else's religion, someone else's skin color, someone else's financial success that they're not happy with. Crazy world. Thank you, Mr. X. Ooman, who do you think we ought to have up next? Apparently, Ooman was ready for that question, and it is none other than Chin Music. He says, John, when I said I missed the zoo because you had to support the parasites, I meant that I had to work. He says, especially now, we have to fund the pensions in Ukraine. Good times. That's right, folks. Pensions in Ukraine. We got to pay those people. Now, get this. In order to get through the debt ceiling crisis that the United States government had, I believe it was old Yeller, Janet Yellen, she just let the government know, well, in order to do what you want to do, you're going to have to dig into the pensions of government workers and disabled veterans. How do you like the sound of that? So not only are you and I having to support the parasites of Ukraine and around the world by working, that those who have worked and have pensions, including disabled veterans, their funding has now been pilfered by the Federal Reserve and the United States Treasury. Moreover, did you guys know that the United States government sends millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars overseas to other countries so that they can have, you guessed it, they've been given money by the United States for border protection, for border security. Meanwhile, one of the longest borders on the planet, the United States southern border that it shares with Mexico, has this much border protection. It's so bad that the people whose job it is to protect this country from people invading from that country, it's so bad that there's a problem with depression and suicide. Thanks, Biden. Thank you. Let's go, Brandon. Unbelievable. I think we're ready, believe it or not, for the next meme to get Americans wound up against Joe Biden, the Democrats, etc. It's been a while, hasn't it, man? We used to get some of those on a daily basis, new ways to make fun of Biden. Fuck Joe Biden, right? Let's go, Brandon. What happened to that? Where'd the creativity go in pointing out what a bunch of knuckleheads these people are? It's just, every day I'm stunned, folks. Every single day. Okay, let's step it up. Let's move along. And man, who do we want to bring up next on the Prepared Mind channel? It's Charlanator. Russell Brand had a video today, says Charlanator, with a whistleblower whose sister was or is a doctor. And then she realized that in all of her schooling, doctors are only taught how to do surgeries, but not how to prevent what they are doing surgeries for, or prescribing meds to treat. Interesting, huh? Now, this, of course, is coming from Charlanator via another source of information, so it qualifies as hearsay, right? Secondhand information. Isn't it fascinating, though, how we have oodles and oodles of secondhand information? We have oodles and oodles of firsthand data, information, facts, and more information from real doctors who contact us directly. Right? Yeah, they know how to prescribe meds for treating a problem, but they don't know how to stop the problem from happening in the first place. They want to give you a shot of this or an injection of that. And if things get out of hand, they'd like to do some surgery and start removing your gallbladder, your spleen, and other body parts. That's Western medicine now, though, folks. Western medicine. If you want to find out what's wrong with you, you don't have to go to, well, a lot of people, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not saying what you do or do not have to do. What I am saying is that a lot of people will go to webmd.com. That's right, webmd.com. Or other military, other medical sites, and figure out what their symptoms mean. And it's very interesting. All right, I see what you got there, Uman. Let's see. Okay, a star. Yeah. Okay, very good. Chin Music. Now, folks, I got to be very careful because this is a show that is satirical in nature. It's about humor and laughing at these idiots in politics and medicine. But Chin Music says, go on YouTube and watch the University of Minnesota Medical School and their wine class oath. It starts with a land acknowledgement and manages to go downhill from there. That's interesting. I wonder what funny drinking games they're playing at the Minnesota Medical School. I cannot put that video up. Not allowed to do it. Nope. Wouldn't be prudent. Wouldn't be prudent at all. Wow. I can imagine, though. University of Minnesota Medical School. Wine class oath. Thank you, Mr. Chin Music. And, man, let's keep on rolling. We're going to keep on keeping on, as Heidi likes to say. And here we are with doing stuff with Nikki. Nikki, I think, is down in that crazy place known as Florida. Well, the governor of Florida has decided to go on a whirlwind tour of idiotic Democrat northern cities to talk about law enforcement and the justice system. And the mayor of New York City, Mayor Idiot Adams, I wonder if he calls his the Adams family. Anyways, Adams decided to try and criticize DeSantis. And what did DeSantis do? Well, he didn't have to do anything. Everyone else jumped all over Mayor Adams and pointed out his hypocrisy, his stupidity, his failures ad nauseum. These left-wing idiots, folks, they're losing citizens that have money because they're taking their money and going elsewhere. Their cities are falling into disrepair, and these mayors are disreputable. Right? Crime is going through the fucking roof. In Philly, I saw a video earlier of a guy on some campus, some college campus, and an incident was filmed from many stories higher in a building across the street. One guy decided he was going to say something, do something, and he got jumped, got his ass kicked by about 20 people. It's good to know that type of action is going on in those northern cities. Makes me want to go to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Anyways, back to doing stuff with Nikki. She says, ooh, I saw the Veritas clip today. Man, they are losing a shit ton of subscribers. Project Veritas, as of this morning, has lost over 100,000 subscribers. People have figured out, I guess I'll just hit that unsubscribe button if they're going to get rid of the man who has actually made Project Veritas what it is and continues to create scoop after scoop after scoop. Investigative journalism, investigative reporting, exposing the hypocrisy, the lies, the bullshit, and the un-Americanism in the medical industry, in the pharmaceutical industry, in the political industry, in the legal industry. Bam. James O'Keefe. Unbelievable. And they're going to continue to lose a shit ton of subscribers. Let's do this, Uman. I know that we may have a changing of the guard here, but if you have one more, let's do it. Let's put it up there. Who wants to step up? It is Michael Brown. Hey, man, how are you doing, brother? Oh, this is great. He says, John, we must hold their faces to the coals with glee. They can guarantee us safety. That's a great. Hold their faces to the coals. I tell you what. Can you imagine, Michael, the sizzling sounds? Oh, good God. That would be a moment of glory if we could take those that have fucked us over and tried destroying this country to hold their faces and their feet to the coal. The hot seat, folks, hold their asses in the very chairs that they have set on fire, their own government chairs. Same with the pharmaceutical companies, same with the medical industry, same with social media. We need to keep exposing them. We need Veritas to keep doing what they're doing. These idiots are so smug, so arrogant, so conceited, so full of their own selves that they continue to open their fucking mouths in public to apparent strangers who just turn out to be Project Veritas insiders who record them gleefully going, yeah, man, I got to tell you, we're creating these viruses that man, it's great. They're going to kill people. Oh, by the way, that's a secret. Don't tell anyone. They're just happy about the evil they're doing. Unfucking believable. I wish we could hold their faces to the coals. These are some evil fucks, Michael. They really are. I hope you're sitting down again tonight and that an awesome dinner is being set right in front of you, man. Anyways, I had such a good time talking to you, man. There's going to come a time, and there's going to be a lot of people, I guarantee this, gleefully holding these fuckers accountable on a personal level. I know every one of these bastards in Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, every last one of these pharmaceutical fucks knows exactly what they've been doing and screwing everyone over and lying and making a shit ton of money over it. Every last one of them, folks, deserves to pay a very handsome price. And I think it needs to be taken out on their asses, right? They need to pay. They've caused so much suffering to the elderly, to children, to adults, to people who are now dead, injured, suffering, etc. I mean, even Eric Clapton, many other celebrities besides, he says he's in pain all the time. We have super athletes keeling over. We got these great high school and college athletes dying of fucking heart attacks, being defibrillated. That shit used to be for old people, folks, old people in their 70s, their 80s, their 90s, when they're like at a casino and they just won a big jackpot, and I won $500. Too much excitement, right? They get out, defibrillate that person, and then they go get the early bird special and then start gambling some more. That was for them. Now we got fucking defibrillators for high school students. Yeah, I think we need to hold these people, their faces against goals. Let's see, the mainstream media, social media people. Oh yeah. Let's see. And I'm not inciting violence or recommending violence, harmful, or any other dangerous behavior, folks. I'm not saying go out and get revenge. I'm saying when it happens, ooh, Delali, it's going to fucking happen. And every last one of them will have earned the pain they got. Now, it's not for me to judge. I am not judging anyone. I am not the Almighty. I'm saying people are going to do it. They will judge these fuckers on their own. It's not a hard judgment to figure out either, is it? Because we know better. They know better. We know better. But when the gloves come off, when the shit gets ugly, I think it's going to go down. Where, how bad, for how long? It's going to be a mess. In fact, this topic came up in the R Syndicate behind the scenes discussion. What did it have to do with? It had to do with the red and blue state divorce that was brought up by formerly Big Marge Taylor Greene, who I think owes all of America an apology. She needs to take a knee and apologize to us. She needs to take a knee to the Patriot movement. She needs to take a knee to America First. She needs to take a knee to all the freedom-loving veterans and other Americans who she insulted during the Kevin McCarthy ass-kissing session to get him put in the Speaker of the House seat. And by the way, McCarthy, where the fuck is the impeachment hearing? You can't tell me that there aren't numerous examples, Mr. McCarthy, of where Biden has committed high crimes and misdemeanor, not to mention fucking treason. And he's continuing to do it right now while he's hobnobbing, kissing ass, and forgetting that he's just crapped his pants again in Europe, while the people in Palestine, or East Palestine, if we want to get very specific, Ohio, are suffering. And other Americans are suffering. And the border cities are suffering. And the border states are suffering. Americans are suffering. Our veterans are suffering. Our homeless veterans are suffering. Fuck it. Let's give billions of dollars to Ukraine to fight a war so that NATO can continue to try to put military bases right on the fucking border of Russia. That's what this is all about. In order to hide all of the graft, corruption of Ukraine, the money laundering cesspool of shit under none other than Slobodan Zelensky, Voldemort Zelensky, Light in the Loafers Zelensky, the actor who has been put in position as the puppet stooge, who is now threatening Russia with World War III. Excuse me? Oh, I tell you. All right, let's do this. Man, I know we got one from Kaz. I want to thank Michael Brown. Once again, great topic. Got me all pissed off. So it's the Italian hillbilly, folks, the fourth dimension himself, Kazman. And he says, with over 100 plus infrastructure incidents in the last 2 months alone, folks, train derailment, industrial accidents, explosions, fires, food processing plant fires, farm fires, substation attacks, power substation attacks from Oregon and Washington across the frickin' country to Florida and North Carolina, as well as other places unreported. When are people going to wake up and see these are sleeper cell attacks and false flags to enable the invasion of June 2024? All right, man. I need some help on this. June of 2024. Come on, give it to me. What's just say it. Say it. I want to be Sam Kinison. I want to be Sam Kinison from Back to School. Say it. Say it. Just rip the fucking desk and throw it and go, say it. Tell me, what is it? What happens in June of 2024? Give it to me. Ooh, man. Type it up, brother. Come on live. I don't care. Either way, I want to hear about the invasion of June 2024. Let's get it out. The election season kicks off. Come on, man. Enough malarkey. There's got to be more than that, brother. Okay, let's do this. I know. I was just trying to. I wanted to get crazy, man. I wanted to yell malarkey and say it, Dad. Fucking Sam Kinison. That dude was a handful. Let's put up Kaz's comments there one more time, please. If we can. If you will, sir. Good Sir Knight. We have had a lot of incidents. And you ask a very important question. When are people going to wake up and see these are attacks by sleeper cells, by false flag government attacks? We're awake. These are incidents. These are terror attacks. These are false flag attacks. Okay, remember that the FBI was completely responsible for framing those morons, those left-wing morons up in Michigan, the state of Michigan. There was a sleeper cell of morons that the FBI infiltrated and then promoted the idea to this group that they should go kidnap the governor of Michigan, none other than Gretchen the Grinch Whitmore. That was the plan. The seed that was planted in this group of morons. And they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Let's go kidnap the governor. Right. That's brilliant fucking thinking. They were such an awful group of FBI infiltrators. FBI infiltrators, right? That the case got thrown out in court. These morons, folks, were engaging in all manner of illegal activity and stupidity. I think even beating their own wives. Were they trying to convince the other morons that they were one of them? And they're like, hey, watch me punch my wife. That'll make you believe that I'm as stupid as you guys. Yeah, the government, folks, joins groups kind of like the FBI and other government infiltrators sent agents provocateur into the Proud Boys, into the Oath Keepers, to join those groups, to try and promote within them to commit acts of terror, illegal acts, trying to promote and push acts of violence on January 6th. Ray Epps, anyone? There were other FBI agents and Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police officers who were in civilian clothes amongst the protesters, pressing for acts of violence by the crowd. And oh, by the way, all of that footage that was released to Tucker Carlson is driving the Democrats mad, scaring them to death. They're melting down, if you want to say that. 41,000 hours of January 6th footage. And oh, by the way, where the fuck is McCarthy with the impeachment? He turns all of this over to Tucker Carlson, and then he steps back like he has no further responsibility. Thank you, Mr. McCarthy, for finally releasing public information that could exonerate or help us convict the true terrorists of January 6th, not as insurgents, not as insurrectionists, but government provocateurs. Anyways, folks, they're going crazy. They're going crazy. Democrats do not like the truth the way vampires do not like the sun. They're terrorized at the possible, folks, realization by the American people, Italian hillbilly, that their government has been lying to them and that there is evidence that's going to be released publicly. Adam Shithead Schiff had this to say in his tweet. Speaking of, get this, fucking understand this. Speaking about Tucker Carlson, he writes this: a man who spews Kremlin talking points suggests January 6th was a false flag and spreads the big lie. Make no mistake, this isn't about transparency. It's about fueling dangerous conspiracy theories. So, releasing actual footage of January 6th showing false flag, agent provocateur, government sneaky ops. That's a dangerous conspiracy theory. Those are just facts. Video footage is facts. It is not a theory. But that's what liar Adam Schiff says. He says that it is Tucker Carlson who is part of the big lie. Now, Democrat, another shitball Democrat, Jamie Raskin, the dingly rascal Raskin, he is terrified and calling the footage of January 6th MAGA propaganda and calls Tucker a pro-Putin journalist. Unfucking believable is what I call this. Right. Another left-wing ding-dong, Richie the Terrible Torres out of New York, said that the January 6th footage that's been given to Tucker is, quote, as insane as appointing Marjorie Taylor Greene to the Homeland Security Committee. You don't want to know what's fucking insane. is Democrat Representative Eric Swallowswell, who was banging a spy from China named Fang Fang and leaving him on the Intelligence Committee, giving him access to national secrets in Congress. That's fucking insane. But this fucking idiot wants to say that giving January 6th public footage of government operatives is insane. No, it's called releasing the facts and the truth to the public. This is too much on this Tuesday for these people to handle. Too much. Even Adam, the slimeball Republican Kitzinger, the rhino douche himself, says, so Kevin McCarthy shared the surveillance footage, not with the rest of Congress, investigators, or anyone like that. It was to Tucker Carlson, right? I'm sure the people of Congress can ask Tucker Carlson for that footage. And I'm sure Tucker Carlson would more than gladly hand over footage of the Washington, D.C. police and the FBI, as well as the footage of Antifa miscreants trying to dress and act like they are from within the Make America Great Again, Patriot, America First groups. And remember, these scumbag agents provocateur went off, they gave the signal, and the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police began shooting tear gas, rubber bullets, chemical agents, and beating the living shit out of those Americans in order to make it look like a mob scene, and then claim that these patriots started it, when in fact it was agents provocateur. People are waking up, Kaz. They're waking up. But until they are hungry, until they are scared for their safety on a daily basis, until they are being completely victimized, they will not take any action. But back to, and I'm almost done here, folks. I know I've gone a little long, but go back to this comment about we needing a red state, blue state divorce. That's not going to happen. It will not happen, in my opinion, until things get so bad in blue states or red states where the people are taking action on their own behalf in small militant groups who are responding to government tyranny, whether it's a federal agency that has violated someone's sanctity and pushed them over the line. And I'm not promoting this, folks. No, I'm a satirist. I'm a cynical American pointing out what I consider to be a futuristic fact. And that is that the federal government and some state governments and agencies are going to push their luck with the American people, whether it's confiscating weapons or penalizing them for speaking the truth, or someone has been damaged medically and they've had enough and they take action on their own behalf, either as individuals or groups, and the government interaction, shall we call it dynamic, grows to the point where the people have had enough. And then it is up to those states to decide, is this the fault of the people, or is this the fault of government at the state and or federal level pushing us too far and violating our God-given, recognized rights in the Declaration of Independence and that which we know to be true, our rights. I have a right to breathe air. I have a right to stand in the sunshine. I have a right to stand in the moonlight. I have a right to travel from here to there and back again without being molested by government agents and having my pockets picked of any wealth that I managed to make on my own. I have a right to protect myself with force, deadly force, at any point where I feel threatened and I need to protect myself or protect others. I have the right to be protected against unreasonable search and seizure and harassment by government agents who choose to try and use me and others as examples so that they can scare, terrorize, belittle, and otherwise, corral Americans into a corner and try and hold them there under threat of violence or actual use of violence. Once again, folks, I'm talking about government tyranny. I'm talking about despotism coming from people who believe they have the authority to commit such acts against the people. I don't think they do. They don't have that authority. They think they do. Remember, government does not have rights. Government has authority. We, the people, have rights, and we, the people, are the authority from which government derives theirs. And so how can an institution have more authority than those who have the authority to grant it? In other words, how can the government be more powerful than the people who have authorized its existence, pay its fucking bills, and demand justice, liberty, equality, and the protection of our rights? Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Declaration of Independence, read it. Constitution, read it. Bill of Rights, read it. Government, read it and weep. Godspeed, Semper Fi.